Yo, what's up guys? Tom here from the Full Boots team, and as you guys can see, I have a lot of boots sitting down here in front of me. You might notice something about their layout which might suggest to you today what we are doing for this video. First things first, today's a bit of fun. So disclaimer, whatever is said in this video, do not take it to heart. It is not necessarily about you. We're talking just generalized stereotypes. And after that disclaimer, I'm going to tell you what today's video is. It is what type of player are you based on the color of the boots you wear. Alright, so the first colorway we're going to look at, if you couldn't guess by my change of shirt, is white football boots. So we've got a couple of options down here with me. Now when we're talking about white football boots, we're talking about that perfect, elegant, number 10 footballer who's never had to make a tackle in his life. And of course he rocks up with almost looking like a fresh pair of white boots every single game because he just doesn't let them get dirty. He's that twinkle toes player on your team. Now, as you guys can see in hand, I have got the Mizuno Fernando Torres limited edition release that he had, and also one of the launch colorways for the Tiempo 8 in that all white out colorway. Some stunning boots. Obviously, white football boots are a bit of a dangerous game because obviously playing on those grass and muddy pitches, they're going to get very dirty. Personally, I'm not a massive fan of white football boots. However, you will see me wearing a lot of white futsal shoes. Just because it's indoors, you don't get all that mud, all those problems, and I think they look super clean. Alright, so now it's time to up the temperature. As you can see by the color change, we're now talking red football boots. Now this is a bit of an interesting one. Researchers have actually found that if you are to wear a red kit or red boots, it can up your chances of scoring and being more successful as a team by up to 10%. Now, buy into this if you want to, but there's been a lot of studies done, and it could suggest why teams such as Man United, Liverpool and Arsenal have been so successful. So when we're looking at red boots, we're talking about those players that just score those goals. They think they've got the good feet and they back it up as well. So of course sometimes it might be a little bit more fiery in the head, get some red cards, who knows. The likes of the Kanes, the Lewandowskis, the Ronaldos, just some that spring to my head, all been seen to be wearing bright red boots. Now for me personally, I don't think red's my go-to color. If you know me, obviously I'm not really a flashy sort of guy. Don't get me wrong, there has been some really solid red colorways in the past, and if I was wearing red socks I might have to look at them. But yeah, I don't think red is going to be my first color to go to. So time to turn the temperature down a little bit now, and we're talking the underrated color of blue. Now as you can see down in front of me, the brands have been releasing a lot of blue colorways recently. They've been absolutely smashing out some gems in that blue color. Now when we're talking blue as a player, it is those underrated players, sometimes possibly the underrated fullbacks. They get a lot of stuff done that just goes unnoticed, but also it could be those hard-working number 9s. Sometimes they don't touch the ball all game, but they're creating those runs to create space for other players. So it's sort of those players that go unnoticed that wear these blue boots. Alright, next color now, we're on to the black. This is your captain, this is your leader, this is your legend. He's the guy who's got zero skill moves, but he just gets the job done. If you need a challenge made at the right time in the right place, this is your guy. He's going to be doing it. Of course, there have been a lot of good releases recently in the black colorways though as well. From Mizuno, Nike and Adidas, we have a lot of very nice blackout colorways. But that is your captain, that's your leader, that's your legend, that's the guy who you can trust in any sort of situation out on that field. Alright, next colorway, about as loud and as proud as you can get, we're on to the yellow colorway. Now obviously a lot of brands love their Vault releases, and you can't really blame them. Some boots I think go really well in a yellow, but some other boots I'm just not the biggest fan. But this player, this is your set piece specialist. This is the guy who wants to be on every single dead ball for your team. Now, I like to think I'd be a set piece specialist. I like getting on the free kicks, the pens, all that. I just don't think they're quite a colorway for me. They're just a little bit too loud. I raved about how I'd wear a black boot, but the yellow just might be too much. But without further ado, let's move on to another one. Alright, so on to the next colorway, we're talking about pink football boots. Now as a defender, if you're seeing a guy wearing pink football boots coming up against you, dribbling at you, there's only one thing you're thinking: I'm gonna crunch you. And that guy probably loves it. He probably spends heaps of time on the ground. He might go over a little bit too easy, but yeah, he thinks he's got it all. He thinks he's got the step overs, he's got the heel chops. He thinks he is the absolute bee's knees when it comes to dribbling with the football. That's who you'll see wearing pink boots. And I have a feeling they probably get crunched quite a lot by people who are wearing the black boots. Alright, next up we're talking gold football boots. And now gold is such a good colour to put on a football boot, but you got to get it right. It's easy to get wrong. Now when we're talking about gold for a player, it is that game winner. It's that guy who pops up last minute and slots home that shot bottom corner when he's possibly done nothing all game. He could be a little bit lazy on the side, but he clutches when it is time to. Again, there isn't heaps on the market, but I don't mind that because I think gold is a special colour. You got to save it for the right time. You can't just be flooding the market with it. Alright, we're on to the next colorway. I'm still wearing the same gold shirt, but we don't have a shirt in this colorway in store. It is a silver colorway, of course. Now, this player, not quite as good as the gold, but he still does bit. And when we talk silver boots, the first boot that I think of is that original Vapor worn by the man himself, Fat Ronaldo, R9. And this is that striker with the dazzling quick feet who just slots the ball home. He gets his job done and you can always count on him. But yeah, silver boots, again, I don't mind them. They're definitely not crazy for me, but I think I'd be wearing these before I've been wearing the likes of a green boot or maybe even a blue boot. I think silver would be one of my go-tos. Would you guys wear silver boots? Make sure to vote in the poll card right now, and also let us know if you are that dazzling quick feet striker who always slots that ball home bottom bins. Alright, next colour we're talking about green. Now obviously this can range from the bright lime greens to those darker grassy greens. Now you might see in front of me we've got a hole. There's a hole in the market right now. There is pretty much no green boots out there. Now the green players, when we're talking about the green players, we're thinking these are the guys that are 1 week are the best players in the world, they're absolutely amazing, and then the next they're nowhere to be seen. They can't take a touch, they can't play a pass. People like the Di Marias, the Sanchez's, those sorts of players. Now personally for me, I'm not going near a green boot. It's got to be a pretty amazing boot to be pulling me in if it is going to be with a green colorway. And personally it's not just not a colorway that I really jump to or lean to. I think it's only fair we wrap up this video wearing the football boots shirt. Of course the black and orange halves, but we're talking about the orange halves this one. Now being part of the football boots team, I think I'm contractually obliged to like orange boots, but here we are, we're looking at some of the options that we got from recent times. And in the player, this one's a little bit different. This is that flashy goalkeeper who thinks he's got a bit in the outfield. Players like Edison. Here's the first one that jumps to mind. It's those goalkeepers who might see a striker coming onto them. Instead of playing the simple pass, might fake it, try a turn. Most of the time probably get the ball nicked off them and slotted into the back of the net. But those are the sort of players who we would be thinking would be wearing orange boots. If you're a goalie, let us know if it's you. It might not be. Of course, there are a lot of goalkeepers out there who keep it real and rock those black boots. Don't be offended by what we've said. It's just stereotypes of what different colour boots we think the players sort of resemble. But that's it for today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.